Good morning all, this is Marvin from StockMarketPlan.com, welcoming you today to the Stock Market Watch for the October 27th edition. Market had a great day today, finished up as you can see over here on the chart, finished up about 2.5% roughly on the S&P, which we are looking right now at the spiders, symbol SPY. Back on my previous cast, I talked about this line here from the low of August 10th would be a critical area, and also if the price managed to actually tease this and cross underneath this line, it would be bearish for the market in general. Not only did I say that, I also said, well, if the pierces through and manages to close above this line, that it would be a better sign for the market. And it didn't do it on the actual day that it actually crossed it and closed below it just by a smidge. The very next day it came down and it crossed it, and then it managed and this was of course October 4th, managed to come up and close above that level, and here we are, and off to the races we've gone. Now, with all of that said, I am still cautious in the market. I think we're out from, you got to go back and look at the videos, but we're out from way over here. When we crossed critical levels here, we were almost all in cash already, if not all in cash. And we let this thing trade sideways, and we tried to get in with a small position, 1/4%, and finally ended up stopping out. And we've been holding real light through this whole market drop here, which has given me the chance to really let this thing trade out. Even this most recent move, if one was to hold this market all the way down to down here, 100% stocks, they're just now breaking even and catching up to where I actually came off the market way back here. So you can see it's just about the same level. I mean, the market now, if I zoom out a little bit over here, you can see this is January right here. The market is just now breaking even, okay, for the year. So even with all this, you're going to turn the TV on today. You're going to turn the TV on today, and you're going to hear about how the market was up huge, and we're off to the races. And you really got to look at it a little deeper than that. I mean, what is it that made the market move up? Well, you're going to hear a lot of speculation about that. Oh, it was this or that. Well, the biggest one right now being tossed around is the development in Europe, where they're building each other out over there, basically. In other words, that's just restructure of debt. I mean, this really isn't growth. It really isn't something that's going to motor us higher as a global economic community. I mean, you got to see. I've said it from way on back before this, and you can look at the videos again that I have on the internet. I mean, really, it's a simple equation. It really is. You need people working, okay, which we have very few people working. That jobs number, the job numbers are, although they're improving, they're still somewhat dismal and not favorable for economic growth. There is a just that alone is enough to hinder the chances of an economic recovery. I mean, we get work, we got money in the pockets, we have money to spend, we spend money. Companies have to produce more, they hire more, and it's just that cycle. Restructure of debt is just basically putting a band-aid on the issue, and just seeing to where it gets us. I think you're going to see a lot of this to the year end. It's I mean, it's year's almost over. We're into the fourth quarter, and here's the year end. So I mean, I think you might see something like this and have the market trade out, but I have no idea what's going to happen. What I do know is that the market now, although we had a great day here, before I go there, let me show you what happened here, because this is important here. This is I didn't mention that day when I mentioned about the market actually crossing this critical level, and actually managing throughout the day to come back and close above it. That's typically known as a shakeout. I didn't mention that, and usually it brings higher prices. I still did not participate in this because, again, the market has to contend. At that point, had a lot to contend with averages. You had the 20-day moving averages, green line right here. You had the red line is the 50-day, and now you have the 200. So all the way through, the market's trying to push, and that's a lot of ground covered in October. Okay, we're talking a huge, massive move. Again, volume is low. Okay, although we had good volume into the market today, this this Thursday. It's still, this is volume. I mean, you're still looking dismal. So although you'll get on the tube today and you'll hear, whoever it is that'll get on there, Katie Couric or whoever, talk about, the Dow was up huge and this and that. I mean, this gives you a better story of really what's going on under the hood. And again, the overall market still has a lot to work with, has a lot to work through. Excuse me. So this is what we're gonna look here. What I'm looking for this market to do now is really, I mean, it could do this. It could just trade that way like that, between these two lines, or it could actually just keep motoring higher. But I'm really interested to see what the market does when it comes back down, because it will, because nothing goes straight up, right? Just like it doesn't go straight down, just like it did here. It did have its bounces. Well, it's going to have its pullbacks here. So when it pulls back, what's the volume like? What's the activity like? What makes it pull back? It's obvious what made it go up. It's basically a debt deal, a restructuring deal. You took it from one credit card, put it in another. It still doesn't change your overall financial picture. Okay, so I mean, what is it that is going to drive the market back down? And that's going to tell me a better story of when I want to actually pull funds out of cash and apply them back to the market. I think this is a tough market. When you have this type of volatility, I mean, if you're a long-term holder, which I am at heart, it's really tough because you can there's a lot of fakies out here. This is not a fakie. This is just plain out bearish. Boom, straight down. And this bounce is a bounce, but it's still within a bear market. I mean, we're still, if we look at an overall trend, I mean, if we go over here and if I go over here and draw this trend line here, I mean, it's still, even if I take today's high, it's still an overall bearish trend. So, it's just keep it in context. You're gonna get a lot of phone calls from financial advisors or whatever. This is the time to get back in, blah blah blah. And they might be right, they might be wrong. All I'm saying is I think if it's a true bull market that's going to last for a long term, this market will base out. It's not, if you ever have a chance to pick up one of my favorite books is How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. Basically, he is my mentor. He doesn't know he's my mentor. I met the man once and got his autograph, but other than that, that's about the only personal relationship I've had with him. But this is where I learned all this stuff. If you get to pick up that book, it'll help you a great deal. It talks about these stages. It talks about basing out this type of action right here, which this is really not basing out. A lot of movement here, a lot of volatility, but this is basically a trader's market. There's a lot of movement, traders love this stuff. I'm sure they made a ton of money here in this type of move right here with this shakeout. Oh, I was going to show you the shakeout there and what that meant. Here's the session of October 4th, and here's what the shakeout looked like. This yellow line right here is the line that I showed you that I drew that said, I basically said that was the last line in the sand. If you can look at the video, the previous video, Market Watch video, I mentioned that. And basically, I mentioned that there was a close below this. Well, we gapped, we opened lower below that line, worked ourselves up, came back down, and then at the very end, somebody pressed the white button and off we went to the races, and we haven't looked back ever since. We closed above the line. And I mentioned that could be bullish in the short run. But again, going back to a daily chart, and here's that day again. Okay, we down and then close up. On a daily chart, and just looking more in the long term, we're still in a very negative action, as you can see. I mean, here are the highs. Okay, here's the open of the year, so we're just barely now, flat even. So let's take a look. I'm still waiting for this thing to base out. Maybe it'll come out. Let's see here. We can see this line now become support, and maybe it'll trade above this, and then again, I mean, this market, the volatility has to really narrow the trading ranges. This is just ridiculous. I mean, this is it's hard to play. It's just really hard to play. It's just a very erratic type of movement, which is very hard to predict. What sound. This is not sound movement, of markets. So looking forward to see what the rest of the week, tomorrow's Friday, and then more importantly going into next week. One more thing, we are in earnings season. That's enough to get it all crazy, and there's it is promising. Some of the companies are coming in with better earnings as a whole, but again, better earnings as opposed to really bad earnings. I think my position stands that I think this is just a real tough market to play. We have again, the volume patterns are as such, and it's just anemic. This is a monster move, and volume came in for most of it below average. Then we have this announcement, and we crack up. Still closed right around the 200. That's where these levels are important. Okay, here's the 200-day moving average. Here's our close right here. So I mean, it's something to keep looking at. So, all right. Well, I don't want to beat this too much. Again, this is Marvin from Stock Market Watch. You can check us out on Twitter, on StockMarketPlan.com. You can go on there and comment on these videos. Really appreciate it. Anything that you guys, what do you think about this last move? Put it on there, and we'll talk about it. I'm sure you're getting a lot of jibber jabber from the news and as far as where this thing is going. But anyways, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, make sure you check us out again. StockMarketPlan.com, on Twitter, Stock Market Plan, and on Facebook as well, Stock Market Plan. Have a